Donald Trump is now blaming Walmart for rising prices in response to the tariffs, right? And he's saying that they should just eat the cost of the tariffs and not raise prices on customers. And so this tweet from Trump, it seems to reveal what many have suspected, that Trump doesn't really understand how tariffs are supposed to work. Because if prices don't rise in response to the tariffs, then they don't actually deliver any protection. The tariffs, they only work because the prices go up. The tariffs are supposed to make Chinese goods more expensive than American goods. That's the whole point. If Walmart just eats the prices on the tariffs, then there's no incentive for consumers to choose the American-made version of products. And that's even if they exist because they're at a baseline more expensive. Trump's policy is working exactly how it's intended to, and apparently he doesn't like it. You also had Trump claiming that the countries pay the tariffs, not consumers, which obviously, judging by Walmart raising their prices, isn't true. And then on a more zoomed out level, Trump also said that the tariffs are there to replace the income tax and make us all rich, but that they're also there to increase manufacturing. But you have experts saying it really can't be both, at least at the same time. If you import less goods because you're producing more domestically, the less tax revenue you're getting and the less rich you're becoming. Right? And all of this is why we're seeing so many experts saying that this is kind of basic Econ 101 shit. Follow to stay in the loop.
Americans across the country are fuming after noticing a steep rise in prices at Walmart, especially on essential items like groceries, toiletries, and household goods. Shoppers are voicing their frustrations, claiming they're being squeezed from every direction. Walmart used to be the affordable place, says one customer. Now it feels like a luxury store. For families already struggling with high rent, gas, and healthcare, these hikes feel like a final punch to the gut.
One of the world's largest retailers just came out today and said they're going to have to increase the cost of a lot of popular items, and they're blaming President Trump for that. I'm talking about the Walmart CEO. He came out today and said due to President Trump's tariffs, that he's going to have to increase the cost on a lot of popular items. But folks, I'm calling BS on that, because if you remember, during the COVID pandemic, all of these retailers came out and said that they have to raise the cost on a lot of popular items, and they used COVID as the excuse. But when the pandemic ended, did they ever roll back those prices? Of course they didn't. Folks, I'm calling BS on all of this. I don't think these retailers are actually raising the cost due to tariffs. It's likely greed. And I think it's fascinating because there's new studies coming out every single day and data that's rolling out that prove just that. Take a look at this. You know it's a scary day when I have to cite Axios, but Axios just released this. Hard data suggests that tariff-driven inflation and recession fears may be overblown, aka they're fear-mongering, folks. We've been talking about it on my show, on my social media pages. We know they're lying to the American people, and the American people see through it. Take a look at this poll. This poll, to me, was fascinating. 75% of voters believe these companies may exploit tariff-related price hikes to keep overcharging consumers, like we saw during the COVID pandemic. Remember that, folks? Remember that? I'm so glad so many of you agree with me on this front. Also, when it comes to American citizens and their trust for President Trump in this fight against defending American workers, 43% of voters side with President Trump, while 39% side with these retail CEOs. Because the American people see exactly through this, and 78% believe that these retailers should be the ones who absorb these costs. Probably because they've been dealing with these COVID prices for years now, even though the pandemic has ended. So folks, when all these retailers look you in the face and say, we have to raise the cost because of tariffs, know that they're lying to you. It's just pure greed.
Donald Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices across the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as it said, eat the tariffs and not charge value customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. He keeps saying it. And it's not, each time he says it more forcefully and more often and more loudly, it still isn't true. China is not going to pay for the tariffs. China's not charging you the tariffs. Donald Trump is charging you the tariffs. Walmart's not charging you the tariffs. They're paying for the tariffs. That revenue goes to the government, and they raise their prices to pass it on to you, because no company, even if they want to, is going to eat 20, 30, 40% of the cost. Ultimately, the bulk is going to be passed on to the consumer. Donald Trump knows that, but he doesn't believe you know it. That's why he keeps saying it, because he thinks you're going to believe it. So if you're a Donald Trump supporter, you're a MAGA supporter, don't fall for the okie doke. He's telling you this because he thinks you're stupid. And a lot of people are out there actually saying, yeah, this isn't a tax on me. This is a tax on China. Or I'm not getting a tax on me. I'm getting a tax cut. Or Walmart should eat all the costs. Never going to happen. The only person pulling your leg this time is Donald Trump. He's pissing on your leg and trying to convince you it's raining. China doesn't pay the tariffs. Companies aren't going to pay the tariffs. It was true yesterday. It's true today. It will be true tomorrow. And as soon as you accept that and realize this man is lying to you about everything, the better off you'll be.
Walmart has announced it will increase prices nationwide despite record profits the last several quarters. So this one is a really hard hit to the economy, especially for the people that are at the income level where Walmart is probably the best price point in order to get groceries and basic household items. So as we all know, the inflation has been really rough the last several years. One of the biggest hits to everyday people is that grocery prices have about tripled in the span of the last 3 or 4 years. And this is not going to help anybody. It kind of makes me wonder, like, at what point do they realize, like, people are just not going to be able to do it, guys? Because it's just like, it's already so hard to make it that you have 30 and 40-year-olds still living with their parents because they cannot afford to buy a house in this economy. And so you've got people working a regular full-time job. You've got people doing gig economy work like Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats. They're doing house sitting, dog sitting. They're working on Fiverr and Upwork just to be able to try to put some money together to be able to pay for things like pay some debt down, pay some bills down. And at some point, it's just going to crack for basic average people that are just trying to like go work a 40-hour workday and come home to their couple of kids, like the average American family, and just make it. And that's even with both parents working full time now, not like, 60s where you can go back and you only got one person working at a factory job and it pays for a house and a spouse and a couple of kids and everybody can just do it. So I think this is a really bad look for Walmart. I know that both Target and Aldi have announced this year that they're going to do everything they can to actually decrease prices on a number of basic items. And so I think this is going to create a bigger gap. Aldi's already cheaper groceries than Walmart is, even their great value brand, because Aldi's all their store brand. But for the other basic necessities that you can't get at something like Aldi, you'll have to continue to go to Walmart, or, Target might come a little bit closer in line. Now, Target's a much nicer store to me than Walmart is, just to be able to do your basic necessities. But let me know what you guys think of this and how they expect people to keep paying for stuff, especially the people in our society that are already struggling with the gas prices, the grocery prices. And Walmart doesn't need to do this. They're already one of the most profitable companies in all of the United States. So there's no reason for this for me. I know it makes the stockholders happy, but you're just crushing regular people. So let me know your thoughts.
But Walmart says there's more to the story. According to the retail giant, the recent price increases are directly tied to new tariffs imposed on Chinese imports. They claim they've absorbed costs for as long as they could, but with inflation and global supply chain disruptions still biting, passing some of those costs to consumers became unavoidable. Still, many Americans aren't buying it, literally or figuratively. They're asking, why does it always fall on the everyday person? Why not the billion-dollar corporations? What's your take on Walmart's justification? Are you feeling the pinch too? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video if it resonates, and don't forget to subscribe for more on what's really going on behind the price tags.